What's the first line of the B movie?
Bzz. Sorry.
Hi everyone, welcome to Sal's Pals. My name is Elizabeth. I'm here with Bryce, Aaron, and Mitchell.
Today we're going to be talking about kind of what made us fall in love with film and why we're sitting around this table talking about it today. So, Aaron, you want to kind of talk to it first?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to make movies whenever I was in high school. So that's why I started at the movie theaters. You know, it was I kind of wanted to see like the exhibitor side of things. Then I ended up not really doing anything with movies because it was, it's Oklahoma. Do we want to say we're in Oklahoma? Oklahoma's fine.
That's fine.
I think it's fine.
Yeah. It's Oklahoma, so I mean, there's really not a ton as far as film goes here. So I kind of gave that up a little bit, but I still like movies. I don't watch them as often as I should, especially for someone who wants to do a podcast about movies.
That's okay. I make up for it.
Especially
Yeah.
for someone who works at a movie theater.
Yes, who gets free movies, who could watch every single movie that comes out.
Yeah.
I don't watch them nearly as often
I
as
see
I
what
should.
You know what? That is kind of criminal because the three of you have access to that, and I'm the only one who doesn't, and I watch more movies than the three of them combined.
I think I'm a nice even medium between you two, where I see a lot of movies, but not, I don't keep track of everything that I watch. I don't review everything necessarily. I do usually have an opinion on every movie I watch. I'm not just watching it to watch, but
Yeah.
anyway.
So, continuing on, kind of tell us about, I guess, some of your favorite films that, like, have some landmarks in your opinion and, like, the history of Sal's film.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like some of my first movies there were, and one of my favorites is The Dark Knight. Seeing that one in the IMAX was very, very cool. It was back when we had films. So, it's taken up a full 5-story by 7-story screen, and it was very impressive. Watched it at 3 a.m. It was very late, and
They don't show movies that late anymore.
yeah, the sun was coming up whenever our movie was over. But it was really cool. And then I don't think I ever saw this one in theaters, but my favorite Disney movie as well is Emperor's New Groove.
If they brought that to theaters, I would be front row.
Oh yeah, I would 100% watch that one. in
Lean
theaters
all the way
again.
back.
Yeah.
Ease my jump scare in the front row.
And then Shaun of the Dead is another one that I really enjoy. So
Edgar Wright.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
I've still
Yeah.
never seen Shaun of the Dead.
you should watch it.
What's it about? Is it zombies?
Yeah,
My
it's
favorite.
a spoof of
Okay.
Day of the Dead?
Yeah,
Or Dawn of the Dead?
I've
it's
never
just kinda
seen that
like-
either.
Dawn of the Dead,
It's
yeah.
basically just kind of like parodying the whole like zombie genre.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's about like a generic United Kingdom like day worker in the zombie apocalypse, about how little his life changes, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay. I need to
Yeah.
watch that.
It's very entertaining, very inappropriate, but it's a funny movie.
I mean, you're only wearing a T-shirt with your name on it,
That's
right?
true.
Like, come
Yeah.
on.
And then of course you got the whole Star Wars saga is. I love Star Wars. Got the Star Wars tattoo, the Star Wars shirt, the Star Wars poster, and everything, and a lot of stuff in here is Star Wars. My favorite, though, out of all of them is Empire Strikes Back. So it's just
Arguably the best one.
yeah. I mean,
Classic for a reason.
Is
Yeah.
Darth Vader in it?
Yes.
Then it's good.
Yes.
Is that your gauge?
I
for-
only care about Darth Vader. If he's not there, what am I watching?
So this is something that you'll come to learn as I have being married to her. But her litmus test for if a movie's good or not is if there is a evil person in dark clothes with a cape. And
Bonus points
if it-
for a mask.
If it checks box 1, 2, and 3, it's on the list.
Good movie.
Yeah, that checks out.
I mean, as soon as Darth Vader's like, what's the point? End the franchise.
Well, you should say spoiler alert. Not
Oh,
everyone
yeah.
knows.
Yes, let's spoil this 40-year-old
If you
movie.
don't know that Darth Vader's dead, get out from under your
Well,
rock.
actually, some people may be confused. They bring him back in every single Disney IP ever, so...
That's true.
IP?
The essence of Darth Vader is still very much alive.
Yeah.
My God. You can't kill
Yes.
coolness.
All right, well, moving on to me now, because I want to talk about me.
All right.
I guess kind of what got me into film
Bryce's
was I
pals
always... Oh,
Jealous.
I always went to the theaters growing up with my family, and we went to various films here and there. Like I remember the first film I ever watched in theaters was Pirates of the Caribbean, and I remember having to leave because I was so young that the skeletons at the end scared me. So my mom had to walk me out while my brother and dad finished the film. But I'd say like formative films to me that like kind of got me started into why I love movies would be The Lord of the Rings, which we'll talk about more. Obviously, like how do you not talk about The Lord of the Rings? But watching that with my brother in a extended edition marathon, which I feel like everybody's had at some point in their lives, except for Liz. But and other than that, I'd say probably the one that really got me into like the deeper side of film that I enjoy now is Tarantino's Pulp Fiction. Like how do you like? I watched that as a 13-year-old. Way too young to see that movie. Yeah. Way too young. But I watched it as a 13-year-old and I was like genuinely blown away by the fact that films could surprise you like that. That films could control, I don't say the way you're thinking, but like know the path that you're thinking and kind of like use that to surprise you and be like, hey, I mean, we're going to show these stories out of order, but you're still going to be able to follow. And like it just really got me thinking about films, and that's kind of what led me here today along the path. So as for my 4 favorites, I'm currently writing a very high. It is the Wednesday before Dune Part 2 comes out, and I watched it on a special screening Sunday. Dune and Dune Part 2 are my like favorite absolute. I'd slam them every single day of the week if I could. I mean, Dune Part 1 just means so much. I'd also say Casablanca, because I am in love with film noir and that style of film. So Casablanca and Sunset Boulevard are 2 really, really huge films to me. And as a 4th, I'll throw in, I've been recently getting into the documentary side of things, so I'll throw in The Thin Blue Line. Very good film. So those are my 4 favorites.
Yeah.
And kind of
documentary is a whole other like section too that I have not even like really reached out into. I've seen a fair amount of good documentaries, but nothing that I have seen yet that it elevates to that point of.
There's a vast ocean of documentaries, and I've barely dipped my toes in.
Documentaries are the thing, like you kind of forget that you like them until you watch them.
Yeah, absolutely.
The one I watched recently was, I don't remember what it's called, but it was about like pretty much like a cult kind of thing, and it really like it interviewed people from the cult. It showed like things that the normal public wouldn't see, and I was so invested. Like
it's a whole other side of filmmaking that gets you in, and you realize once you see a really good documentary, you're like, oh, this is a whole other type really cool of film to watch. That, Well, for me, I got into movies, I think, like the old school classic 90s way of just loving going to Blockbuster every single day. And when I say every single, like pretty much every single day. My whole family has always been, movie people, and we never had cable or anything like that. So all that we would see is just what was on, tape, and then, DVD and stuff. Blockbuster, like just going up and down the aisles, like picking a movie every single day and, jumping back and forth between different genres and stuff like that. It made me like, I don't know, just have this appreciation for the art that it was, but like I didn't know that it was art at the time. It was just movies. It seemed so different, but as an adult now looking back at it, I was just enjoying something, that was, art, and a way to express and a way to escape, and a way to, feel things that you wouldn't normally feel. It was
absolutely
a different thing each day. And going to the movie theater as well. I'd say that was honestly a weekly occurrence too, with my family. We'd go almost every Saturday morning. We were part of the early crew that was there at like 9 a.m. to watch whatever new movie was out Saturdays.
You were the bane of theater employees.
Yes. Banging on the front doors.
We didn't get any concessions, so we were even more annoying, but a little less in a way.
Yeah, I would say
less. Less work, but not really.
For context, we've all worked in a movie theater together. That's how we met each other.
Yeah.
Which I think is what's helped keep my love for movies strong, because I think I would have fizzled out a little bit more like going into college when I saw a lot less movies, but since I've still been around the theater, I've been able to see more.
So we didn't rent movies so much as we would rent a Nintendo 64. Oh. And we would... What does that look for?
We'll probably dabble into games on this podcast.
When she doesn't know what that is.
Really?
Really?
And I don't know what that is.
Oh.
She's not very video game...
Okay. All right. That's fine.
Centered.
Yeah. It's a very old gaming console at this point, so...
Before
Yeah.
GameCube. Do you know GameCube?
I know what GameCube is.
Okay,
See,
it's the
it's
generation
literally
before a
just right
GameCube.
So,
Yeah.
You can't get hostile at that.
Yeah. I know what
You literally just said, I don't know this. I don't know this gaming system. They take it one step forward, and you're like, I know what that is. Hello.
I'm not that stupid, okay?
It is. That's the one. I think then you were probably born around GameCube and
Probably.
N64.
Yeah. So,
It's
but
just
yeah,
that small line.
that's what we would do. We'd go
Yeah.
rent. I mean, we rented movies as well, but like, yeah,
Yeah.
we'd get the gaming consoles because I didn't have them really growing up. I had a Game Boy.
I was about to say, I think I remember renting video games from Blockbuster more than
They
I
had
do
a little bit, yeah.
movies. Because
Yeah.
like I think that was like a big appeal to my parents of like they would go and they'd rent whatever movie for them to watch, probably something that they didn't want me and my brother watching,
Yeah.
and we'd go over and we'd each get a game, and that'd keep us satiated for a week. You know,
Yeah.
I think that was a big deal for me.
No, I agree. So to go kind of into some movies that I find to be at the top of my list as well, and in not necessarily any particular order, but you know, as you mentioned, The Lord of the Rings is a big influence on why I think I enjoy the art of movie making as well. Because the first time I watched it, I just appreciated it for a movie, and like it was an escapism, and I can now appreciate how much work was put into that to make it feel like an escape, where you didn't even know you were watching a movie; it just felt real. And Lord of the Rings, in particular, as a trilogy, especially with the extended edition, where you feel like you've got this whole world behind the screen that just comes to life. If I had to pick one from them, it would probably be Return of the King, just because it perfectly ties up the whole story. However, they're all great in my opinion. Some other ones kind of venture off into different genres. The Three Amigos, which is not on most people's top 10, 20, 50 movies.
I was about to say,
probably.
I think you'd be hard pressed to find a movie more
Yeah.
like further away from the Lord of the
Yes.
Rings than Three Amigos.
Three Amigos.
I don't know. I think it's right up there.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's a
If
group
you
of
sat
people
me
going
down,
off.
if you sat me down, like handcuffed me to a chair, and you said you had to pick, is this Lord of the Rings or Three Amigos? And you put Three Amigos on, I'm like, oh wait. And you said, is this Lord of the Rings? I'd be like, that's Lord
I
of the
don't know
Rings.
what you're asking, but sure. But The Three Amigos to me holds a little bit more of a nostalgia as well, because I watched it as a kid and I thought it was hilarious as a kid, which, you know, is the heavy influences from like Steve Martin, Chevy Chase, Martin Short being like, you know, comedy
Martin Short.
icons at the time. I wasn't around when this came out, but like, you know, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, they were still, you know, consistently working and, you know, putting out big, you know, hit movies. And so to see this kind of throwback that had all these dumb jokes, I learned, you know, now as an adult, Randy Newman helped write, and that kind of fits
Oh, okay.
into why. And then, you know, of course, Lorne Michaels, who I'm a huge SNL fan. All three of those collaborating, Steve Martin being like the head writer. I don't know if he's actually was the head writer. If we can have someone look that up off camera here. Anyway,
Not me.
Three Amigos, great movie.
That's my camera.
Another kind of veering off to another genre, the Parasite. I really like thrillers, and this is one of the most perfectly executed dramatic thrillers in my opinion. It is a little bit of a newer movie, and I tend to try not to put as many newer movies into favorites because I know sometimes, you know, it can. But this is one of those movies that every single time I've watched it, it's felt fresh to me, even though I know what's happening now, and especially after watching it the first time, not knowing anything about it, which is how I like to watch movies. Lets me determine if, you know, I don't have any expectation going into it. Parasite was one of those that had no expectation, left with the highest regard. And then the last one, WALL-E. I think it's my favorite Pixar movie. Pixar makes great movies, and WALL-E is one of those that I think is a lot of people's like top in their top one, maybe not their most favorite, but I like it especially for the art of it and how much storytelling that it gives without any, you know, words. And voice acting in Pixar movies is great and everything, but WALL-E finds a way to limit that side of animation and highlights, you know, the visual spectacle that WALL-E I think shows.
Update for you. From a preliminary search, I can only find Steve Martin writing credits.
Okay,
so
I
I
thought
can't
he
find
was.
anything about if you like how heavily he was involved. But he's credited, so
Yeah, I mean, if you watch the movie, it's very Steve Martin like.
oh, for sure.
It's yeah. Anyway, but those are four of some of my favorite movies. But I like all sorts of stuff.
I love
Yeah.
WALL-E. Every time I watch it, it makes me cry.
Hmm.
It's so beautiful. It's so sweet. The most innocent romance, like every time, sobbing mess.
The Pixar movie that gets me is Up.
Don't get me started on Up.
I cannot get past the
Oh.
beginning of Up. I mean, I've watched it all the way through, but like the beginning just gets me every time, and I just
You think you're ready for it, but you're not ready for it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's heartbreaking.
That's another thing that kind of ties to something I think we should talk about on a later podcast, and that is how impactful movie music can be as a device as well. And I actually was watching a video essay recently about The Lord of the Rings and the music of it, and how it has, it takes you to that same escape. And Up is definitely one of those, listening to that main theme.
Oh yeah.
It's so powerful. You get so many emotions, all from the same melody, just
well, I mean, you don't even have to see, like, once you've seen it once, like, you know what's going on with the music, like when it gets sad and everything, like, it's, you don't even have to watch the movie to tear up with the music. Like,
I think another Pixar one that is similar is Finding Nemo and its opening. As a kid, I wasn't as impacted by it because I think I didn't understand fully what had just happened. But then rewatching it, I was like, damn.
I mean, it's hard to interpret what a red orb means to a kid, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, like, as an adult, like, you take a couple biology class and you're like, oh, wow, Finding Nemo.
yeah.
I knew what it was when I was a kid. Not to say that I'm better than you guys, but okay. Is it my turn
She's
now?
saying she's better than us.
Is it my turn now?
Do you want it to be about you now?
Yes. Everything should be about me. This is
Welcome
so
to Liz's
anyway.
pals.
This is pals.
Liz's
Liz's pals.
Liz's glizzes.
Lizzie's Glizzies. Anyways, that's awful. Okay. So, I actually never really grew up in the movie world. My family, we weren't really huge on watching movies. If anything, we watched more of like TV shows like Alf, Green Acres, the older TV shows that my dad grew up watching. That's all stuff I grew up watching. And like, so again, movies really weren't a huge part of my life, yet we had like 1 million of them. Half of them weren't even opened. My parents are crazy, just saying.
Still aren't open.
They're still not open. There is a CD of Steel Magnolias that has never been opened.
A CD? Wow.
No, a DVD.
I
Don't talk to me. But I do remember going to the theater with my dad specifically. He would pull me and my sister out of school like on the last day, and he would take us to the movies. He would cut our day short. He'd go, hey, let's go watch a movie. And really it's because like I knew he wanted to watch a movie.
Absolutely.
And no one was going to go with him. So he said, I'm going to drag these kids out here. And I loved it because that's the theater that I later ended up working at and meeting all of you guys. So like that theater obviously has a lot of meaning to me. But even growing up after that, not really a huge movie guy. You may ask, why did you want to work at a movie theater? I needed money. Plus I met these guys, so it wasn't too bad. And I only started getting...
She married one of those guys, for reference, but we're
so
just
bad.
those guys, so...
Yeah.
Anyways, the only reason I actually started getting more into movies is because of this guy. Big movie buff meets not a movie buff. What do you expect's gonna happen? I get dragged to all these different movies. I've seen things that I never thought that I would watch, like, ever.
I think your go-to example for that is Crimes of the Future.
Oh,
I haven't even seen that.
Crimes of the Future made me feel uncomfortable in ways that I've never felt uncomfortable before.
That's the point.
Like, all of my... Like, I could feel my individual red cells just, like, shaking. That's how...
Wow.
Yeah!
Okay.
Anyways. But there
I've never
are...
even heard of that movie, so.
You need to put that on the box. Like, that would get people to watch.
Critic review.
Yes.
Liz review. Gotcha. So I guess kind of going into that, a movie that I did grow up watching that had like a big impact on me now, forever and always, Phantom of the Opera. Specifically the 2004 Gerard Butler. Don't ask me about it now, but that's the movie that I grew up on. I fell in love with Phantom of the Opera. It is still my favorite thing to this day. Oh my god. I could sit and yell about Phantom all day. But I kind of grew up and I phased off into different Phantom of the Operas. My current top favorite is the 2011 25th anniversary with Sierra Boggess and Ramin Karimloo. Beautiful, absolutely stunning, makes me sob every time. Oh, I'm getting teary-eyed just thinking about it. But Let me also talk about
Checks notes.
the 1925 black and white film Phantom of the Opera featuring Lon Chaney. Holy moly, okay? Let me tell you, when I watched that when I was a kid, it scared the crap out of me. I was like, this is not the Gerard Butler movie that I grew up on. He's scary.
I mean, that was the point.
Yeah, exactly. He's considered one of like the classic monsters.
He's a universal monster.
Universal monster.
Yeah, because like it was the Universal Studios
He's
picture
a
at the
monster
time.
in their eyes, but misunderstood in my heart.
Now imagine it the other way around for someone who watched that first and then to be like, they're making a musical of this?
Oh my god, yeah. And then
Must
after
be
reading
very-
like
Much less a rock opera, you know. Like,
Yeah.
But I'd like to bring up evil person, dark clothes, cape.
I would like to bring up that we did not discuss that in this take.
Oh,
That's true.
that is
Now-
very true.
Yeah.
Cut to... We can put
Cut to a previous conversation.
What he's referring to
Yeah.
is all of my favorite movies, Forever and Always, will always feature a character who is dark, mysterious, wears all black, has a cape, bonus points for a mask. And
Darth Vader fits all of this.
Darth Vader! He's so cool. Anyways, moving on from Phantom of the Opera. Oh, no, not moving on from Phantom of the Opera. I'm going to go back to the 2004 Gerard Butler one. Okay, so
This
We're
is
gonna be
just a
on this
fan of
topic
the
all
opera
night.
side.
No! Listen to this. After watching it again, don't get me started on Gerard singing. Gerard, don't quit your day job.
almost his
It is his day job.
Okay, well, don't sing ever again.
hot takes.
I can agree with that.
As someone who grew up on that movie, loved that movie dearly, he was my Phantom forever. After seeing someone who can actually sing, Gerard, shh.
Wow.
Anyways,
He's watching, you know.
Yeah. He was our first subscriber.
oh. Anyways, the aesthetics in that movie, that is probably one of the prettiest
For sure.
sets I've ever seen. It's gorgeous. Like, I'm watching it now and I'm like, oh my god, there's so many parts of this movie that I hate, but oh my god, you cannot take the aesthetics out of it. It's stunning.
The
Okay.
2004 one.
Which to back up for her, we recently started rewatching all the Batman films, and it seems like a weird side tangent, but we were watching Batman and Robin.
Cloak, could be.
Well, we were watching Batman and Robin, infamously a horrible movie, but we were having a good time watching it. And
So
she was
fun.
like, "I just like how this movie looks. Like, there's something about like the design of everything around." Directed by Joel Schumacher, the same guy who did 2004
That's
Phantom
how
of the
you
Opera.
say his name.
I didn't put
Schumacher.
that- Wow.
Schumacher. That's a fun
So,
name.
whether she knows it or not, she's
Yeah.
connecting the dots on these and is like,
Everything's
figuring these out
connected.
and has absolutely fell in love with those kind of production designs.
Okay, so we're going to move on to my next movie, which also definitely does feature Masked Man Black. Cool. It is V for Vendetta. Dun dun dun.
Masked Man Black.
Yep.
Oh. Anyways. I love V for Vendetta. I remember watching it for the first time. It literally just popped up on my Netflix, and I was like, I don't like your hair. Press this play.
Who are you talking about?
Vendetta. V. No.
V?
V.
Vendetta?
People call me V. Yeah.
Okay.
He's got
Hugo Weaving, yeah.
He's got the ugliest haircut I've ever seen.
So did
Yeah,
you
don't-
start watching it as like a mock kind of like hate watch? Like, oh, I don't like that.
Well,
look,
no.
and then-
Okay. What got me to watch it
Yeah.
is because you know how Netflix has like those little clips when they like preview it? It had his infamous little monologue at the beginning where he is using every single V word in the dictionary. And I was like, vivaciously for something. I don't know V words. And I was like, oh my god. This guy's crazy. Sign me up. I was like, this seems like a Phantom of the Opera lurking around the world. And that's what I want. Free the Basement Man. Free the Basement Man. Anyways, love that movie. I think it's great. I also watched it during the lovely little pandemic. And I was watching it. I was
Little
like,
pandemic.
and I was
think
watching
that's
it-
how some people would
That's the
describe it.
official take.
that's
this
Liz's
podcast.
official take. Anyways, I was watching it and I was like, oh. Everything like connected. I was like, whoa, that's crazy. That's bonkers. It's beautiful. Live, laugh, love it. Moving on. The Matrix.
Another Hugo
Wow.
Weaving film.
Really?
Yeah, he's Agent Smith.
I knew that. No, I didn't. Matrix. Let me set the stage for you. leather, black, awesomeness. You can't go wrong with that. It's sick. It is so sick. Why are you laughing at me?
I don't know. It sounds.
Leather.
Go ahead.
Leather, black, awesome. Oh.
Awesomeness.
Cut the cameras. It's gorgeous. It's wonderful. I watched it for the first time ever when it came back to theaters for one of its anniversaries in IMAX. So the big screen.
What anniversary? It was 22 years after the film came out. I don't know what anniversary it would have been.
I don't know why it came back out.
Yeah.
Was it because the new one was coming
Oh,
out?
That's right.
yeah, it was because of
That's
the
it.
new one.
The next.
Yeah, it came out. It was back in IMAX for like a couple weeks before Revolutions came out.
I never forgot about that movie.
Revolutions.
Yeah, don't.
Never watched any of the
I've
Matrix
actually-
movies.
I've only ever seen the first
Yeah.
one
Watched
and then
the
the
first
most
one.
Yeah,
recent.
yeah. No, I don't not want to watch them. I just never have.
Like, it's just so cool. I love the whole, like... They're not hacking into another world, but, like...
What is happening?
She has YouTube
Jump
opened on her
scared
phone.
herself.
Why was the Phantom of the Opera playing?
Probably looked
It
up
must
the
have
Phantom
heard
Opera.
you. Maybe Siri heard you. That
That's
was weird.
fate. That was terrifying.
I hope the mic picked that up.
God.
It definitely got our panic.
We can add it in post.
I was like, Jesus? Whoa. Okay, anyways.
She's like, my time has
He's like,
come.
we're not like in the Matrix. Fabric of reality starts
Oh my
falling
God.
apart in front of us.
Dude, if I just flipped over into the Phantom world, I'd be like, done. Bye, guys. You'll never see me again. Okay.
Jumps head first.
So I feel like I'm talking way too much about everything. So I'm going to skip to my last movie, which is not anything like the other three movies that I've mentioned.
Yep.
Pride and Prejudice, the one with
Keira Knightley?
Keira Knightley
Yeah.
and
Well, it also has Rosamund Pike.
Matthew McFadden.
who's the main guy?
Yeah.
Matthew McFadden.
Thank you. You're not helpful.
I can't remember his name ever,
I only
so
know
thank
because
you.
I've been
McFadden.
binged Succession. Matthew McFadden or McFadden? I can't remember.
I think
how
it's
to say it.
Fadian.
Matthew
I could be
McFadden.
wrong.
Sorry.
Whatever.
Great
That
actor.
guy.
Great actor.
Yes. Yeah, because now you're watching something with him
Yes.
in it.
He is great.
Ah, he's
What are you
everywhere.
watching? Succession.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He's
So-
a lead.
This isn't a TV show podcast, but this guy really likes Succession.
It's a great show.
I've never seen it.
We can discuss.
I mean, we
Now
can
we
talk
talk
about
about
TV.
Desperate
I mean, we
Housewives.
talked about video games.
Yeah.
Anyways,
We'll branch off.
Back to Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah.
I guess a similarity there. Emo man
Emo man.
just wants love.
Dark
Is that
clothing.
a superhero? Emo man?
Oh, that'd be me.
Emo man, dark clothing. He's wearing like a long trench coat, so it's like
Oh,
as
that's
close
cape.
as you can
You
get to a
love the
cape
trench coat
without
game.
being a
Cape
cape,
coat.
you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Cape coat?
Okay,
So-
but it's so beautiful. I love myself a good old period film. Love the period films. But the romance, you can't go wrong with the romance. Why are you laughing?
Go ahead and talk about the hand.
The ham.
The hand scene. You as men probably won't understand this.
Correct.
I've never
And that's-
seen it.
Yeah, I have never seen the movie.
I mean,
I'm aware of the
okay.
movie, but
I don't want
I've
to say
seen it.
I don't say understand it. I get it, but
No,
I
you
don't.
don't get it.
I don't get it to the level you do.
If you
I'll say
got
that.
it, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Okay, so
Can you
the
tell we've
hand
talked about this a while?
the hand scene. You know it if you know it. When he's helping her up on the little chariot. Not a
There's a
chariot.
hand scene in Wall-E. Sorry, continue.
Well, before you go too in depth on it, we'll just let you guys kind of experience the
Yes.
movie without her going
Okay.
over about it and see if it stands out to you guys. Because that's
Okay.
you guys are going to be my litmus test on this
I
argument.
feel I've
Okay.
already in the past I've heard you rant a bit about.
But
this
if you
scene.
know it, you know it. It is genuinely the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. It's wonderful. It makes me emo every single time. Like a little part of me like just falls on the floor and dies.
makes me emo. Sorry.
She does like
Great
movies.
phrase.
Emo man.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you for talking about Phantom of the Opera, Phantom of the Opera, Phantom of the Opera, Phantom of the Opera, and other movies.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Phantom of the
Yeah.
Opera adjacent.
Oh, but it kind of can relate to Phantom of the Opera
Yeah.
with the romance, the
Yeah.
longing, the angst.
The emo.
Everything connects.
Emo man.
The main
Emo
character,
man.
clad in dark clothes, acting
Yeah.
mysteriously with a long, flowing cape-esque piece of clothing.
European too.
Yeah, it's true.
I have
Oh, yeah.
taste.
European.
What can I say?
Even Guy Fawkes from V for Vendetta, European.
I haven't seen that either.
I'm gonna.
Haven't
Jump
Well,
seen
the
on
whole
table
it's
and
the
beat
whole
your
thing
ass.
is kind of like United Kingdom because it's like remember the 5th
Yeah.
of November, which is the whole blowing up
Yeah,
Parliament
yeah,
kind of day.
yeah.
But
Man.
Anyways, we'll be
course,
back and we will
rough,
continue to
irritating.
talk about our favorite
Gets everywhere.
films and kind of what they mean to us. We'll get a little bit more personal. It'll probably be like one or two of us at a time, just going through so you can get to know us a little bit better before we branch out to other topics. Anyways,
Thank you guys.
thanks for watching.
Bye. Can I wear a cape
Listening?
next time? Thanks for watching, listening, subscribing to our OnlyFans.
And all right.